Sometimes students complain about their grades. In fact, 28% of the student complaints that we received in our office this past spring were about grades. Reasons for these grade disputes vary, but typically include one of the following. The student believes that they were graded unfairly. The professor would not accept late work, or the penalty for the late work was more than what the student believed it should be. A student completely failed to hand in an assignment and are typically trying to reach the professor about the missed work. They believe that the final grade for the assignment or the course was calculated incorrectly. This happens most in courses that use weighted grades. Finally, a student received a failing grade or zero for an incident of suspected plagiarism. When a student comes to our office with a grade dispute, we always listen to their concerns. As the student presents their understanding of the situation, we ask them to avoid generalizations and speculations about a professor or the course and stick solely to the facts of the situation. During that conversation, we ask the student to provide as much information about the assignment or grade in question. This typically includes any information that might be on the syllabus or Blackboard, including due dates and rubrics for the assignment. We will ask for any emails between them and their instructor, and also if there is any grading feedback provided for the assignment that we can review. Finally, we let the student know that we will reach out to their professor and get back to them within 24 hours. One side note here, when a student comes to my office with a grade dispute, I hardly ever pick up the phone and call that faculty member that day. I will email the faculty and allow them 24 hours to get back to me before I pick up the phone and call them. This is why it is important to check your email once a day. I understand that grade conversations are not always pleasant. They're not pleasant for us as well. Many times faculty members either get angry that the student came to the dean or get defensive about how they grade. To be clear, we do not automatically believe that what the student told us about any situation is 100% accurate. We value and listen to our faculty, and having a conversation with us about a student concern does not mean that you have been called into the principal's office for discipline. During the grade dispute, it is important for faculty members to have the following: detailed information about the particular assignment, any instructor feedback on the final grade for that assignment, information concerning specific due dates on both the syllabus and the Blackboard, clearly define late policies and penalties if they were instituted. Also, any additional information such as emails or Blackboard communications to the student or the class about the assignment. At this point, we will review all of the information and will encourage the student and faculty to meet and discuss these concerns. The majority of the time, a reasonable solution can be reached. However, we know that sometimes this does not solve the problem. A grade dispute turns into a grade appeal when a student appeals their final grade for the course to the dean. According to the college catalog, students may appeal a final grade only in cases where they are alleging a serious computational error in the grade or in cases where they allege unfair treatment in the application of a course policy or procedure. These are the only two instances in which a grade dispute becomes a grade appeal, which gets handed to the dean of your school. During this appeals process, we will ask for the following: a list of grades that make up the final grade for the course, and a grading breakdown for the course. You may be asked to provide additional information, including pertinent communications between you and the student. You may also be asked to meet with both the student and your academic dean to discuss this matter further. And then finally, a decision will be made and communicated to all parties. We work very hard to find a reasonable compromise or solution between faculty and students when making these decisions. Here are some tips for smoothing out grade disputes. First, it's important to provide a clear grade breakdown for your course. Second, keep up with your grading throughout the semester. We understand this can be difficult at times, and we've all fallen behind in this category before. However, students tend to keep constant track of their grades. They've been taught to do this throughout high school, and they typically come straight to your dean when the work is either not graded or when they receive a different final grade than what had been posted on Blackboard throughout the semester. Third, Use a grading rubric and provide as much detailed feedback as you can on each assignment. While students might be upset with their final grade, if you provide this information, it helps to clarify why they received the grade they did. Finally, and we can't stress this enough, make sure you're checking your email often, especially the week following when final grades are due. We know many of you want to submit your final grades and disappear, but grade disputes flood our offices in the first 7 to 10 days after the semester is over. During that time, students typically claim they emailed their faculty and have been waiting for a response. So if you're on top of your email, these disputes will not end up with us. As always, feel free to discuss this or any of our other topics in this series with your academic dean.